Hey guys, welcome back. This is actually part 7 of the Bubbles restore. I was off by a part, so part 4 was 5 and 5 was 6. So it's in the playlist. I made a playlist of pretty much all the restorations, so you'll be able to find it in there. A few things that I screwed up on is, I don't know why, I've done plenty of Williams restores, and I don't know what I was thinking as far as the joystick. I was gonna weld studs into these holes that went through the metal, or went through the wood, and then you just put a nut on the bottom of the joystick once you put the joystick in. But that's not how these Williams games are, and somebody had messaged me and told me that. I don't know why I was thinking that I needed studs. We're gonna put these in there. These go in the wood underneath the metal. They press into the wood, and then you put your screw in from the underside up into it. Now this screw isn't long enough. I actually got to go to Home Depot today, so when I go there I'm going to get longer screws that are this thread, but they thread into these inserts here, and then it'll be just like it was originally. Now somebody else messaged me and said that this hole is supposed to be bigger here because that actually gets a screw that goes all the way through with a nut on the bottom side, and then there is a ground strap that hooks up to that. So we'll leave that one as is, and we'll put a ground strap on that one. So I'm not gonna Bondo that one in. First thing I'm gonna go do real quick is I'm gonna go grind these two down, these two wood inserts that I put in there that corrected my buttonhole size. So I'm just gonna do that off camera real quick. I'll grind these down, and then we're gonna take this metal plate off, and we are going to install these inserts into the wood. And then at that point, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna weld those in. They're so small that I don't think you'll notice it. And when I put it back on, I was gonna do a little Bondo work here. So I'll just put some Bondo in there. It should be just fine. So let me go grind that down real quick, and then we'll take the metal off. Okay, those are all ground down, nice and smooth again now. So now let's take off this metal and see what we need to do to get those inserts installed, because they had Bondoed it in. And remember I had said about the dish in the wood, the countersink, I had said that that's where the hump went on the bottom of the metal. But I was thinking of a metal control panel for like a Midway game. Has those humps on the bottom, and that's what I was thinking for some reason. Sometimes I just get a little forgetful, got a lot going on. So you can see how there's some Bondo in these holes. So what I think I'm gonna do is use that 5/8 Fastener bit that I use to do these, and see if I can just sort of drill those down a little bit. So let me go grab that. Okay, this is that 5/8 bit that I had used for these holes here. So what we're gonna do now is check this. It's close, real close. It's a little small. I'm gonna see if I can find a bigger bit. I know I'm not gonna have one of these. The next size I have is this, is like 1.25 inches. So I'm probably gonna have to use a spade bit. Let me go see if I have one in my van. Okay, I have a 13/16. Now this might get a little interesting, trying to ream these out so that that can recess into the wood and not create a big mess. But I do have to Bondo it if I screw something up, I guess. Actually, that went better than I thought. That actually went really well. So now I need to see if I can put these into there, or do I need to drill those holes bigger, which I think it feels pretty good. Now I gotta go grab a hammer. Okay. Perfect. Now these have little spikes on the bottom. Now I know you can get these at Lowe's or you can order them online. I had ordered bags of these years ago because some of the like Atari cabinets and stuff will use these for the marquees. They'll go up into the wood and then the marquee screw will go into them. Feels good. Now you can also take a screw and tighten it in if you need to, but these are going in nice and tight. I'm gonna put this screw in my pocket, and hopefully I don't forget to buy longer ones at Home Depot. Okay, those are all in. Perfect. So now I just want to make sure I don't get Bondo in those when I Bondo. I'm not really going to Bondo the top of this. Yeah, I'm just going to fill in that right there, that nick right there. And then we could fill in these nicks and stuff underneath here. So basically now, what I think I'm going to do real quick is put this back on. And I'm going to paint it first. I'm going to paint the backside and then I'm going to put it on. I got to remount the metal a little bit around this one hole. It's hanging over just a tiny bit. So let me go get some paint and I'm going to paint that backside real quick. I'm just going to use some Krylon silver paint and I'm just going to set it on the ground. It's not going to hurt anything. Just want to get a little bit of paint so it doesn't rust. Good enough. Now while that's drying, I'm going to get some Bondo mixed up and I will put it on this control panel where I want to fill in some stuff. Not too concerned with all this because it's all going to get hidden. So let's mix up a little Bondo here. Need to get some new spreaders. And we will need a little bit of Bondo once I mount that metal plate on here. Where did I put my spreader at? So I don't think we're going to need a ton of it. I gotta clean up my workbench over here. It's getting pretty dirty with stuff. I see a lot of guys stir this, and you really should flip it over. When you stir it, you're creating air bubbles. Flipping it over definitely works better. Okay, we're just going to fill in this nicked area here. Going to fill it in a little high so I can hopefully just get it in one coat. And then I got to do this underside here. Probably should do the underside first, but I think if I just leave it up on an angle here, I can probably get it. These holes, I'm just going to go ahead and fill these ones in. These are from the old joysticks that somebody had put on there. Other joysticks, rather. Now remember, Stargate's going to be next. Then my Williams games will all be done. Then after that, I'm debating if I want to do Paperboy next, because I really like to have that game done for my New Year's party that we have every year. I got Bondo in this one joystick hole that I shouldn't have gotten Bondo in, but should be able to pick it out. But yeah, it would be nice to get Paperboy done for that. I'm not gonna be able to do too many more games this year because I want to try to get that basement work remodeled. So that's gonna take some work. And once again, that's gonna be on my other YouTube page channel. So we're gonna let this dry and get it sanded down. And then after that's sanded down, we can get that metal plate installed. And then we can remount that metal a little bit and then Bondo around the joystick hole and stuff. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, let's sand down this Bondo with some 80 grit on the DA here real quick. That blown off and then we'll get that metal reattached. Okay, we're gonna get this metal reattached and then grind down the screw heads so that they're not sticking up. This paint has plenty of time to dry now, or had plenty of time to dry. And then we'll grind the screws, and then we are going to clean out the Bondo in here and then clean the metal out in that hole. And then we can Bondo the control panel to the metal. Okay, let me go grab my grinder. All right. Feel pretty good now. I could have made the hole a little bit bigger in the metal and got them to go down a little bit more, but this is just fine. I don't ever plan on taking this metal off again. I mean, there's no reason to. If I sell the game in the future and somebody wants to convert it to somebody else, something else, I guess that's on them. But I don't see it being ever converted back from a bubbles again to something else. Okay. Now remember, we got to bondo that in so that lip is smooth with the wood. So let me go grab my little deburring tool, and we're going to clean out that metal a little bit and the bondo here, and then we're going to go ahead and get this bondoed, these 4 holes, and around the joystick right here. I'm debating if I should put a little bondo over the screws. I might do that as well. So let me go grab that other tool. Okay, this is what I'm going to use. This is a metal deburring tool. So I'm going to go ahead and go around those buttonholes and make sure that those buttons are going to fit in there. So I know that this one's over a little bit. You got to be careful with this. It works really fast. You know, I'm going to do the wood a little bit too, so that the button slides through a little easier. Perfect fit, dropped right in. So that one's done. I know this one needs a little bit around the wood done. I don't think that one needs any metal done. Still need a little bit more on the wood. Maybe a little bit on the metal right here. Yep, right there, it's overhanging a tiny bit. Beautiful. Now I want to clean the bondo out of the joystick hole. That's good. Let me grab a piece of scrap metal. I'm going to show you how quick this works. So if you look at this piece of sheet metal here, I'll just show you on this edge right here. Watch how quick this will actually eat into the metal. And you can see how quickly that will divot right into it. So that's why I say you got to be really careful with it. So now that we have that done, I think we're ready to spread some bondo on here. And once I'm done with the bondo process, I'm done with this, other than painting it. And I'm not going to show you guys me painting it. I mean, I've seen enough paint jobs with the spray can painting control panels, so I don't think we need to do that part. But at least now, you know what I should have done? I might take this back apart real quick, this metal off real quick. The reason why is I wanted to put some tape over these holes on the back side, just on the wood. Maybe just some electrical tape or something, so that when I bondo over these holes, the bondo doesn't go into the screw threads. If it goes into the screw threads, I'm going to be screwed, and I won't be able to put my joystick bolts in from the bottom. So now that I'm going to take this back apart, I need to reference where each screw went, just in case one screw is ground a little bit more than the next. So if I take this one off first here, I just need to put them in order on the countertop. And you can see there's still plenty of head left, even though I ground it down. But I'm just going to set them in order, just so you know how they go back in. Just like when you take a car motor apart, you always want to reference where all your parts came from and keep them in order. There we go. Oh, missed one. Goes between those two. Okay, so now pull this off real quick. I'm gonna go grab some electrical tape and just put it over top of these 4. And then I don't have to worry about Bondo getting down in there, and it doesn't matter if that electrical tape stays underneath there. I'm gonna use this yellow masking tape rather than electrical tape. This might stick a little better. There, now we don't have to worry about that. So we put these back in. Yeah, the masking tape's probably a little bit thinner. Probably a little bit better. So now we just go in the same order we took them out. On the counter here, oops. Put the panel on upside down. That helps. I'm just gonna run my grinder on here real quick again, because some of the screws have a little burr from when I took them off. So I'm just gonna get rid of those burrs, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna put some Bondo on here. Okay, let's get some more Bondo mixed up. Now this one here, I can always drill that hole bigger in the metal, depending on what screw I put in there for that ground strap. I wonder if I should put it in now and just use 2 nuts. I'm gonna go get one. I'm gonna go see what I have machine screw wise. I don't know that I'm gonna have something. Might be a rounded head one, but we can always just grind the head off. I'm gonna put that in now so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, what I had for a machine screw is this one. I was gonna put a washer on the bottom side and a nut. I was hoping for a tapered one, but I don't have one here, so let me put this in there. I'll grind the head down and we'll see if it's gonna hold or not. If it's not gonna hold, I'll have to get a different screw and just do it afterwards. Not a super big deal. Okay, let me go grind down this head and I'll see what it feels like. Okay, it feels just fine. So now we can Bondo this up, and then I'm done with it other than just painting it. And like I said, I'm just gonna spray paint it. Double checking my buttons. Make sure that's nothing moved or anything. Perfect. I'm gonna spray paint the outside white, and I might just do the backside black. And then it'll be ready for the control panel overlay and joystick and buttons to go in. And I did get a wiring harness for it. And I do have all the original boards. I believe I have all the boards now. But I'm not positive, but I think I have everything, including a power supply, original power supply. So I have to double check, but I think I have everything. So let's get some more Bondo mixed up here. Mix up more than I did last time. This Bondo I've been getting from O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's Evercoat Body Shop Premium Filler. It actually works really good. I think it's $40 some a gallon. It's not real expensive compared to some of this stuff nowadays. There's like Rage Gold and stuff that you use for cars that I used to use. That's $130 for a gallon of Bondo. That's ridiculous. There's no way I'm wasting that kind of money on filler. That 90% of it gets sanded off and is on the ground. So let's get this mixed up and spread this on here, and then we'll sand it down. I might need to do 2 coats. Sometimes you have to do a second coat with this stuff. If we do, we might use a different material than this Bondo, something that's a little bit thinner and lighter weight. Sands a little easier than this, but this stuff actually sands really nice. But if you guys buy a gallon of this stuff, because a quart of regular Bondo at Walmart and stuff is like 10, 12 bucks, maybe even more. So basically, I think it's even more. I think if you buy a gallon of this stuff, it's equivalent to buying 3 quarts of Bondo, so you actually get a free quart of Bondo out of it if you have a lot of projects to do. Just gonna kind of spread this on here first, then I'll come back and smooth it out a little bit. I'm gonna go over those screw heads and the holes that I made for the joystick. Now this step I like to try to smooth flat as possible. I don't like to have to sand a lot. Even though I'm using an air sander, I still just don't want to have to sand a lot. And there's no reason to. If you can spread it out smooth, save you a ton of time sanding. Especially if you guys are sanding by hand or whatever you're doing. So now I filled in where that metal was drilled a little too big because I didn't have the right size hole saw. Pretty certain I'm going to be doing a second coat here. Oh, got a chunk in there. Now this is a critical part because you want this to be nice and smooth and straight, because it's going to show through on your control panel if it's all crappy bodywork. So this is the part where you need to spend a little bit more care and time on. Obviously underneath the metal and underneath the control panel does not matter as much. So all right, we're gonna let that dry, come back and we'll sand it down. Okay, let's get this sanded down real quick here. Okay, let me get this finished sanded down. I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I knocked it down and it actually feels really good. Couple little spots, couple little nicks right there I want to touch up, and then a little bit more around this joystick hole, and then I can grind it out again. I'm going to use this for this coat. It's called Fantastic Glaze by U-Pull. You can also buy this at O'Reilly Auto Parts. I think it's like $20 a tube. It's a thinner product. It goes on smoother. I have a little nick right here I want to fill in with it. And then I'm going to sand this down one more time, and then it'll be ready for me to spray paint it. And then after that dries, it's ready for assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of this on, sand it down, and then I will show you the finished product before paint. And then that'll finally end the control panel work for the bubbles. This one Actually, it was quite a bit of work to fill in all that stuff. I probably could have done it in a video and a half or 2 videos, but I haven't had a ton of time, so my videos haven't been that long, which let me know if you guys are liking the little bit shorter videos rather than the hour-long ones. You know, I don't know if 20-30 minute videos are better or, you know, longer videos. So you guys will have to let me know that. Curious to see what you guys prefer to watch. I'm gonna get this nick first before I forget about it. And this stuff spreads on a lot smoother than the regular Bondo does. So I'm just going around that hole. Just wanna make sure it's nice and smooth. It's the most critical spot. And then I think I'm gonna go over this, this curve one more time. So I'm gonna go ahead and spread it along that curve, and then I'm going to sand it down, and I'll come back and show it to you. Okay guys, that's it. It's done, it's sanded down. Got a nice hole here for the joystick. These are all perfectly lined up. We have our stud here for our ground strap. So the next time you guys see this, I gotta fix that, glue that back on. The next time you guys see this, it'll be painted white on the outside, black on the inside, and we will be assembling it, putting the control panel overlay on it, getting the joystick in and the buttons. I do have the correct joystick for this, so that will be going in, and then we can put the wiring harness on it, and then hopefully by that point we'll be ready to start on the cabinet. So all right guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.